I'm not showing you every single step, but I'd like to show you a good amount of it. So these are the brackets for the solar panels, and they come 2 sets to a box from EcoWorthy, which is the same brand as the panels, but you can get other brands. Usually they'd work no matter what. And I actually had my little assistant here assemble most of them for me. So once shown how to do it, you know, it's not particularly difficult. So again, 2 sets in a box. I'll just show you one. They've got the packaging tucked under or in. Let me just slide that out. She's getting the hardware out. One set of hardware. And then they just have like saran wrap on here so you can find the end and unravel it, or you know, you could just use a pair of safety scissors. Scissors. Okay. So they open up, and you're going to want the piece that goes over the top is going to be the top piece. And you're going to take one of these brackets and you're going to put it like this. Could you get me a couple of knobs, please? Make yourself useful, assistant. She's just feeding her face. What are you eating? Banana bread?
Uh-huh.
Knob, please. Oh, and be careful with these. They're kind of sharp on the corners. Just ask her if she cut herself. And right now I'm setting it up. I don't know exactly what angle I'll have it at up there. I'm just getting them assembled. So the knob, a washer, and a wing nut. Knob, washer, wing nut. Oh, and remember, these washers normally have, good grief, there's hair everywhere in this house. It's almost like I live in a house full of women. It just won't go away. Go away. It's stuck to it. These washers have a more rounded side, and then they have a sharper cut side. You want the sharper cut side away from what you're protecting. You want the rounded side down. And too close to flip the wing nut. So use the other side. The knob side. You want to hold that up for me? There we go. All right. Cool. So this one, the open side will face the other one's open side. So I don't think I need to show you putting that one together. That's it, folks. And then I've got lag screws and some roofing tar sealant that I'll screw into the roof. That'll be it. So we got our big bag of hardware that's still left. Should I just dump it all out? No. No, absolutely not. All right. we'll need bolts. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 for each of the panels. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the bolts. I've got one nut out there already. I'm going to need lock washers and nuts for each one. I think all the hardware we need to mount these 2 panels on this set of brackets. So let's see if I can figure it out. You know what would really be smarter? Why did it take so long for me to think of it? I should be flipping these over. Hold on. Let me get something. Stay and don't bend. I have some packaging, don't I? Right? How about wouldn't that be easier? Yeah, I think so. Still gonna be a pain maybe getting these on, question mark. Definitely better than the other way. Anyway. There. We can get them kind of close to hand tight, and then we can adjust them. I'm going to want it all the way, the bracket all the way that way, so that this panel is as high up as I can get it. Get those butted right up against each other. And if I was trying to save on hardware, I guess I could just screw these together with some sheet metal screws and then just have one more bolt here. But you can see what's wrong. Not long enough this way. I need to slide that way. I can't. There's no more room. Now, the instructions said you could do 2 panels on there, though. How? How exactly? Because I ain't seeing it. Yeah, I had it right. It's got to be all the way that way. But even with it all the way that way, can you see what I'm talking about? Yeah. And these all the way together, this bracket is about 1 inch too short to put them together this way. Son of a gun. And these holes over here wouldn't even line up unless I pulled it away from the other one, so they wouldn't even be able to be right up on each other. So that doesn't work either. Poopsicles. Well, there goes that idea. I'm not making this up, folks. It said you could do 2 like this. And this is the same brand panel as bracket. So why would you sell them that way? Now I got to figure something else out. So, I mean, what I'm trying to do here is limit how many of these brackets I need. I actually have enough for all the panels I have bought right now. All 16 panels could go on 8 sets of these if I could put them on 2 per set. Clearly I can't do that, at least not the way they're configured here. If I wanted to slide these brackets all the way out, I would just have to drill new holes. Right? Problem with that is you'd be getting close to these corners. There's really no strength right at the corner. They're not, this bend, this bent piece isn't attached to this bent piece. So that doesn't really work. Now, the other option I was thinking about actually originally was to mount a single up high like this. These are bifacial panels that the sun can hit the front and back. So if I have it up like this, here's the end of the bracket, bring it up a single, well, light can get all the way around it. Of course, we'll be buttoning them up against each other, but at least light could get under there, bounce up, hit the back. Or from this side, bounce up, hit the back. Gives me options. And then attach, maybe stand vertically a panel in between two brackets, if that makes sense. That would stretch the brackets. So I could have, like if this was a single here, I could have a single, and then put one in between, sheet metal screwed in between them. Okay, I don't know what you think, but this is the best I could come up with to still get 4 panels as close together as possible. So the 2 vertically oriented panels will actually have the brackets attached to them. They are. And then I'm sandwiching 2 horizontally in between. And I should be able to rig this up pretty good. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just using the self-tapping sheet metal screws that came with the kit that I think maybe you were supposed to mount to a metal roof with. I'm going to use lag screws for this, so I've got these perfect to use to hold everything together. So I have one going here, one going there, 2 going one there and one there, 2 going this way, and so I'm just kind of trying to screw this way and that way, as much mix as possible. Right there, I couldn't do as many options because of the bus bar or whatever the heck it's called is right there. So on these, I'll probably just mirror that and go in. So I'm just gonna get about the same as I did on that side, shooting left-handed here. Boy, today would be good. What on earth am I doing? Oh, I'm hitting on the bottom of this. I'm not letting myself through. So I gotta tip it down a little bit more. Adjust the chuck. We don't want to over tighten, we don't want to strip it. We want them good and tight. There we go. Okay, I already did the rest. I was just showing you the last 2. Now, the way this is supposed to stand up, gosh, this is going to be a bear to get up on the roof. I might have to take it back apart to put it up on the roof. I'm guessing this is probably a little heavy. About the same as a 4x8 sheet of plywood, so, but it's a lot more cumbersome. If I have an assistant, I could probably do it. There. I mean, that will work, folks. Look at that. Huh? What do you think about them apples? I'm thinking that'll work. It actually doesn't look half bad either. I've got pretty good close gaps. It seems pretty even. This is a little more proud than that, but I can deal with minor imperfections, right? I'm not a perfectionist, am I?
Because if I were, that being off like 1/8 of an inch would bother me. But you can hardly tell it's 1/8 of an inch off. I hate having good eyes sometimes. But yeah, that'll work. And then it'll just be a matter of stringing these together, 2 of them together in series, and then everything else will go in parallel. And of course, these cords, this one's right here, they're just not that long. But we'll make do. If I have to order some extensions, that's okay. Women put them in their hair all the time. I can't do that, but I can use extensions on these to feel cool, right? So I think this is my first prototype. I like it. With them all linked together, once they're bolted down or lag screwed down, hopefully there won't be a whole lot of play this way. If there is, I can put a couple of support brackets, stabilizers across the back to keep it from wanting to do that. But hey, that actually looks pretty nice. I am A-okay with that. Show you the side. Kind of what it looks like underneath. So, yeah. And then seasonally, I can adjust these to change the angle on these. Yeah. All right, next time you see me, I should be on the roof trying to wrangle this onto the roof or lag screw it down. So I'm pre-positioning. Just getting set up. Throw a couple tools up here on the roof. I got my drill bit set, the drill, and my caulk gun. And I've got the roofing tar in the caulk tube on the heater right now. Because it's not super warm out. It's like 50. Probably going to reach 60 today, max. And I want that warm so it'll find all the gaps and, you know, do a good job of whatever the roofing caulk sealant's supposed to do, right? Keep rain out. So I'm going to move these just a little bit away because that big solar cluster that I made is going to go, I think, right here. And it's got to come up that ladder. Yay. This is going to be so much fun. I tell you. So yeah, we're just getting ready. If it was a piece of plywood, I'd just shove it up this ladder, but that's kind of sensitive. We've got a little bit of wind. Hopefully I don't get a gust as I'm carrying it up here, like the one we're getting right now. Not super strong gust, but it's, 10, 15 miles an hour. With a giant sail on the way up, that might not work out well. We'll see. So I think that's the only thing I'm waiting on is that caulk tube to warm up a little bit. Then we'll be right back out here seeing what we can do. Oh, I also need to get a bit for my lag screws. All right, camera lady. I got my #1 camera lady.
Yay me.
Yeah, she's behind the camera to make sure. I don't know. I guess just make commentary and poke fun at me.
Fall off.
Or to be here in case I fall off the roof or whatever. That's to true. Call 911. So somebody knows. Oh my heavens! Let me get this on the roof. I need. This is going to be a little sketch, hon. So this is warmed up a little bit. Had it on the heater for a few minutes. At least the sun's out now.
For now.
Of course, the sun brought the wind, so it's windy. Not crazy windy, but enough that it'll make it fun. Oh, All right, this thing is a little heavy. Not the heaviest thing, but I think it's a little more than the average sheet of plywood, so I think I wanted to go this way. Or was it? No, it was the other way. How's this gonna work, babe?
I don't know, just don't drop it.
I mean, there's only a few $100s here. This is a great idea.
You should have assembled it up there.
Well, yeah, but I was doing a prototype.
Do you need my help?
No, I'm good. Says every man before something awesome happens.
I can't even walk.
Yeah. All right, let's be honest. That went way smoother than any of us thought it would.
Not really.
No? Oh, you thought it was going to go good. Good.
Oh, you're grown and I didn't really know what to think.
All right. Now, we're going to put it there, but I need to flip it
Just don't fall
without
off.
cutting into my shingles.
Oh my gosh. Don't try this at home.
It's good.
Not really.
What do you mean, not really?
I can feel my anxiety rising. My heart rate.
Did we want to go closer to the edge, or is this good?
I don't know. It's your thing, babe. You let us know.
Of course, I'm in the way to let it down. Gentle, think gentle. All right. And then it's how high do we want to go off the edge? Should I have enough so I can go over there, like walk on the edge?
Probably.
Probably. I'm glad I redid this roof with extra sheathing. It's going to be good and secure. It'll be so good that nothing will ever go wrong. Mm-hmm. Right, babe?
Yeah. Let's go with that.
Yeah, right there. I think that's going to be the ticket. Get these all straight up and down. This one's being like destroyed. Now we're good. And I'll come back and retighten any of them that I think, I'll check them. Just making sure all these legs are perfectly vertical. That looks, I don't know. I'm not a professional solar installer. That looks okay. The wind can go under it. That's not south, unfortunately. Our house is not oriented north, south, east, west. South is that way. So they're at like a 45. So it'll be really good in the morning. And then midday it'll actually start to diminish. And then the end of the day, we might get some bounce off of our white Shasta shingles on the backside. So the kids, what do the kids say? 6, 7. That is cringe for me to say that, isn't it? What do you think? Do you,
Kids think everything's cringe that adults do, so it's okay.
especially when you hijack their stuff.
Then it's not cool.
Yeah, well, which is good because then hopefully they'll stop doing it. All right, so I've got my lag screws, and the hex heads are 7/16, and my little kit here has an adapter for sockets for my drill. And of course I've got an impact that I could use too, but the drill is plenty. So there we go. I am going to pilot hole these, I think. I'm going to see how it goes with or without, but I really don't want to split anything. So I'm going to go ahead and size up a drill bit here. We're going to go with a little bit smaller than the shaft on this lag screw for my drill bit. So every bit of the threads will be doing their job, and then the shaft will be expanding the wood a little bit like a nail would. So that's the idea anyway. And I'm going to do that one on that side first. And then I'm hoping I line up on this side too with a nail. Nope. But at least if I get a couple, that'll be nice. So I'll know at least this side will be anchored, which is good because whenever we get an eastward wind, this side's well anchored. Ow. I'm going to go locations where I'm not interrupting myself with the brackets. So I'm going to go as high as I can, maybe right here. Help if I tighten that. It got windy after we got this up here, so that's good. All right, I'm gonna go right, where do I wanna go? I'm trying to decide where the least damage I could do to the shingles is. And I'm thinking right here. The goop will get in there nice. So we'll try this spot. It feels like we missed. How on earth? So I've already got a hole in here that missed. You'd think I would have tried when I did the fascia to hit the actual rafters. But there are some splice points where they don't go all the way up. Apparently I'm at one. We're gonna rock it anyway. So I'm gonna drill a few right up the top here. Oh, there's a little bit more resistance. Didn't hit a one. That's okay. I've got double sheathing, and that sheathing's toenailed down, so it should hold really, really strong. Still would have preferred to hit a rafter. I guess if I wanted to later, I could put like brackets in between and make sure I hit a rafter there if I was really concerned with it. So I've drilled the holes. I'm going to get my caulk here, my roof patch, pierce the seal. Oh, the wee one's out trying to be part of the video. Wee one, like, doesn't want any involvement from us unless the camera's rolling. Then she wants to be on the camera. So I'm going to go ahead and blow off the debris. And then I'm going to try to actually squirt some of this tar into the hole. In each of them. And if I make a little bit of a mess, I don't really care too much. Wrong side. Try to get a little of that down in there. Be generous. And then, ow. Let me get my adapter bit in here. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to get some of this tar on the threads, if I can. I'm going to make myself a mess here. That's okay. We're going to get it on those threads. There. Try to seal it up as good as we can. Don't strip it. Set my torque so it's tight, but not too tight. That's not even going in. So I need to go a little tighter. And I already made a mistake again. Let me pull that back out because I forgot the washer. I need a washer there to help hold it down. But it's not the worst end of the world moment. By putting the screw down in and pulling it back out, I actually got a little more of that tar in there. So that's okay. Make sure I'm back on the threads with it. At least a light coating all the way on the threads. I'm sure you can't see that. Get my washer in place. A little tighter. There we go. And you can start to see, as soon as you start to see those shingles compress a little bit, just don't go too much or you'll actually hurt those shingles. Just a little squish down and that's it. So I'm going to do the rest of these all the way around and then I'll bring you up with the camera later. Thanks, camera lady, for making sure I didn't die. Awesome. All right, I'll run down and grab a couple more screws. I've already tarred them. Yes, already tarred the holes and drilled them, obviously. I'll do this one closest to you first that you can actually see. A little extra tar coming out there. And take a little bit of that. There's plenty. And there's no reason not to use plenty, I don't think. I mean, is there a point where it'd be too much? Probably. Put a little bit there on the screw. Make sure there's a little at the top to make a seal. There's also plenty there to make a good seal around the drill hole. Put my washer in place. Make sure I'm in the actual hole I drilled. Where are you? There you are. Went a little bit at an angle here. Kind of had to. So we're going to want tighten, not too much. And then because it's at an angle, we're going to make sure there's enough tar squeezed around it, especially on the side that's going to be a little bit proud, a little bit up because of the angle. We don't want anything getting in there if we can help it. So now we've got plenty of this tar all the way around. Try to keep that moisture out. Anytime you put a puncture or a hole in your roof, it's one of those trade-offs. It's like, is what you're putting up there worth the added risk now that you have a weak point in your roofing material? So I decided yes. And this house, it's a man fab, 1993, I think. We got a new roof on it, new siding. You know, we refurbished the inside. So it should be good for a while, but it's still not really permanent housing. You know, it's meant to be cheap housing that you can get out in a hurry to a location, and you know, that's what it is for us. For us, fortunately, it was already here, so I didn't have a huge initial investment. We're benefiting from somebody else putting it out here, and you do the work yourself, enough of it, you really kind of come out ahead, I think, in the long run. We'll see. I think the plan's for us to stay here until basically all the kids are through college. And then who knows? Well, wife and I will have plenty of time to plan our next step. You know, we'll be in our mid-50s at that point, and might have completely different interests by then. Who knows? All right, washer's down. Tar's on. Make sure I find the hole that I intend it to go in. I'm getting a really good bite, so even though I don't think I hit any rafters, I'm still getting a good bite. And plenty of tar. I think we're going to be just fine. And these bottom ones are actually slightly toenailed too, so they're getting a longer cross section of wood to go through. We've got 2 layers of sheathing on this house now too, so that helps. Wipe off my finger as much as I can. I grabbed a piece of pizza inside that was a little greasy, and I noticed that the pizza grease actually was a pretty good solvent to get this tar off my finger. But gasoline would work good. I'm sure there are several things you could use as a solvent to get this off, other than what's written on the side of the tar tube here. What is written on as the recommended solvent? Handling, storage, should be cleanup. Coverage rate. Where's cleanup? Nope, that's a different language. Inhalation, yeah, okay. Wash skin thoroughly with soap and water. It's supposed to come off with soap and water. Well, that's great. You don't have to use gasoline or pepperoni pizza grease, but you can. and I won't stop you. I still have one more over there, and then we'll be done. I think I'll probably trim that last one out. You don't need to see everything. Video's already long enough as it is, right? Absolutely. Okay, we're up on the roof. It's later in the day. I've got these 4-to-1 adapters, and these are 12-volt panels, and I've got a 24-volt system. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a positive from one panel and hooking it to the negative of another panel. Okay? And then I'm going to take the loose positive and negative leads and run it to those 4-to-1s. So I've got 4 total panels here. So I've got 2 of them run together to make 24 volts. And the loose ends go to the splitter. The other 2 run together to make 24 volts. The loose ends run to the other splitters. Okay? So you got a negative splitter, or a combiner in this case, and a positive combiner. Notice I have 2 loose there and 2 loose there. Those will go to the next cluster of 4 panels. So I'll have 8 panels strung in series and parallel to just a single positive and a single negative running into the house. Then later I'll combine it with another 2 clusters on that side of the roof. Okay? And then I'm going to go inside the house and show you how I'm going to run those 2 clusters together using a bus bar. And then later I can expand to 4 clusters. No.
Well, yes, and then later 8. It never ends, folks. Once you get started, you're like, this is cool. And then I'm just very crudely running them over the ledge. Later there'll be a gutter going on there. I don't know what I'm going to do there. But I got a couple little holes drilled there. I'll fill the gaps with great stuff. And I'll have probably 2 more holes, 3 more holes, 4 more sets of holes next to that for the other panels to come into the house. And then they run in to that charge controller right over there. Well, it'll be a pair of charge controllers eventually. 2 will go to that one. Oh, there is it running into the house. Comes up over the door. And we're going to cut it and run it into the charge controller. Alright. Do I have all the tools I need? I've got wire cutters. The sun is behind clouds and it's late in the day, so it's pretty dim. So I shouldn't kill myself cutting these and plugging them in. Now I'll need to combine these with the next set once I install those, but for now I'm just going to run them in there single with plenty of slack in case I want to do something funky combining them, which I shouldn't, but just in case. Now I'm cutting this off. I could always put it back on there with this if I wanted to later. I probably won't. There's a lot of line here, so I might actually be able to use this as an extension out there. We'll see. Cut it. Positive. Cut it. Make sure they don't touch, because there is a small amount of power out there. With as cloudy as it is, those 400 watt panels, 400 watts of panels, it's probably bringing down like 10. So I won't hurt myself. So I'm going to want to strip these so I can go ahead and put them in, and we'll see actually what we're getting right now if I can get it done in time. Let's go ahead and trim this back. I don't know, about 3/4 of an inch ought to do. This is 12 gauge. Is that solid or stranded? Stranded. 12 gauge stranded. So we're not going to want to twist too tightly or we'll lose the strands. I do actually have a wire stripper this size, but whatever. Doing okay. I don't think I lost any on that one. I can check the evidence later and let you know. It doesn't look like I lost any. Same thing on this one. Trim it back. Rock it back and forth until you can strip that insulation off. There's the evidence right there. Absolutely none lost. No strands lost. And now I can go ahead and run these in. If I was to tap, you might get a small spark, but again, it's not very bright out right now. I'm going to dangle the negative and just run it right in here. And I'm going to take my positive, go to PV photovoltaic positive. I got very bad lighting in here, I tell you. One light right over there. PV, can I even see? Yes, PV positive on the left, PV negative on the right. So I'm going to run this to the one on the left. I'm pretty sure I backed all of them off. I did. All the way up in there. Tighten her down. Hopefully I'm not cutting your view off too bad. Grab my negative. Run that up in there. And tighten it down. What are we getting right now? 0 watts. It's so dim out there, I'm not surprised. It's showing nothing. I'm trying to remember, do I have everything run properly? I do. So I wonder if maybe, because I was expecting at least a couple of watts. Don't lose these. These little bitty screws come with here. I wish they were like, you know, the type that stays in. I wish they were that tight. What on earth? Am I crooked as heck? I'm sorry, but it is what it is. So I'm going to Let's see if I can back these out just a bit, because I might be hitting on the insulation and not letting the actual line touch. Good there. Taking out a little bit. Should be good there. Yeah, I'm not getting any power, but that's not surprising when the outside looks like this. It's kind of dreary out there, so it is what it is. But we're installed. Double check again. PV positive, PV negative. Yep. I am a little surprised. I figured I'd get 1 or 2 watts, but they're secure, both of them. So now I'm going to take my cover with my 2 screws that want to get lost, put it on there to secure everything. For now, at least. For now, until we do it right. Sure. All right, so a new one installed next to the old one. I say old. So, and all the wiring is harnessed together and zip tied up to the underside. I'd rather it not rubbing. If it does get, when it gets pushed around by the wind a little bit, it's strung up to the underside, not rubbing on the aggregate on these shingles. So pretty clean. I'm sure it's not perfect. If you have any suggestions, hit me with it. Aside from like running everything in conduit, I'm just using what it came with. And so I got a set. Well, this is what, 8 panels here, 800 watts. Another one just like it's going to go on that side of the roof, and then we might expand again later, kind of up here where I'm sitting, with just flat mount, flush mount. So we'll see. There they are across the roof here, and just the two wires. I'll have to secure those better, obviously, but just the 2 off those, and then I'll run a separate set for the panels that come over here. On this side, there's the old solar shed still cranking out power, even on a cloudy day. Absolutely. See you later.